reason for moving it like that is that you have a little better idea of the revenues, but still not, you know, a
What's that
complete
got to
grasp,
do?
right?
What's
We're not
got,
gonna
that's
have
got
it
to do with
until
budget.
Well, all right,
March.
all right, all right. Contradicting
We
myself a
know,
little bit.
we know what that has to do with it.
Go ahead,
No,
Kyle, I just.
Well, the only other, I think, there's no reason why we can't share progress as this process unfolds. You know, unfortunately, North Reading's no different from public or other private entities in its budget formulation. All the action seems to be in the last 2 weeks. You know,
Yeah, it
it-
does.
no matter when this town meeting is going to be, it all comes together the last 2 weeks. And I've sometimes thought that we stretch this budget, this is personal view here, we stretch this budget out over
Very
8 or 9
interesting,
months,
yeah,
when
yeah.
it all takes place the last 2 weeks of the year. And we spin our wheels and we go through a lot of angst and discussion and
I think the timeline's fine, but Kyle, let me say this, I honestly do believe that in the last several years, that we have established a level services number,
yeah,
not early in the process, but early enough,
yes.
so that we've said, this is what we're looking for.
Right.
And this is
Helps
what we
to
need
drive.
just to maintain level services. And even in the face of revenue projections that were less than that number, we've been able to do pretty
Yes.
well. And I think part of it is because we put that number out there, people know what it is, and they know why that number is what it is too.
Well, we will beat the municipal side of government, I'm quite certain, by February 13th release. And I think that's helpful it's helpful, you can look at that both ways, but.
I'm okay with it, I don't know how anybody else feels, I'm okay with that. All right.
I'm fine.
But I think we can also add as an agenda item throughout the spring, you know, where we are and provide what the number is at that point in time. Level services budgets are a lot simpler to construct.
Yeah. Yeah. I just have to basically do the math. I mean,
I think we need to have that.
yeah.
You always
I
need
agree.
to have that level services
I
that
agree.
says, in order to continue what we're doing right now, this is what we need next year.
Important number.
But this year, we're adding that layer, which I'm enthusiastic about, where we prioritize a set of
Yep.
enhancements with, we'll maybe develop a format where we describe each enhancement in a structured way.
I'm gonna give you one of
Separate
my
section.
enhancements now, and it's not gonna enhance anything except parents' pocketbooks. Eliminate the activity fees,
Mhm.
the $125 activity fee at the high school.
We haven't carried that as a separate goal, but that was a stated goal 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, we'll never eliminate the athletic fees,
Still a
'cause it's too
stated goal.
much, but
All right.
I'd like to see us move in that direction, at least that's a smaller fee, and it would pump more money into the economy.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Mel. All right, anything else, Cal, on the budget process on the
No,
calendar?
thank you.
Okay. Negotiation subcommittee, we do have a contract, a teacher's contract, North Reading Education Association contract expiring on June 30th of 2012. We do need to put together a negotiating subcommittee to begin negotiations sometime, I would guess, in the next 60 days. With the NREA, and I think that we, in the past, have appointed 2 members to serve on this committee. So again, I'm open to suggestions as to how we want to proceed on this, in this area.
I'm interested in participating again. I think historically, we've put members with a lot of service or the most service,
Experience.
I don't want to block
yeah.
anybody out. If
I don't
Mike or
either.
Karen are interested, Cliff can't do it.
I
Can't do it. But I would
but it-
suggest that in the next
Yeah.
next few years, if Mike and Karen are still running and around, they're gonna be doing it because,
Well, that,
That's an important.
this'll definitely be my last one.
right, yeah, but Jerry and I
That's
won't
for
probably
sure.
be here, you know.
Yeah, that's an important consideration, because if folks are gonna continue and you're in your last term, somebody needs to be able to go through this process at least once, so they understand the process and get that. The challenge with both Mike and myself is that we work full-time, 9 to 5:30 outside of.
And this takes quite a bit of time, once
Yeah.
you.
And then Mel and I have our own business, so we
Right.
only work part-time. But I think.
Because you're in town.
We're in
No,
town,
no,
right.
I know what
And
you're
Yeah.
I don't
saying.
think
We
the
are.
teachers meet after 6 o'clock.
No,
you
it's-
know
No,
what I
God,
mean?
It's usually
no.
at 3 o'clock or 2:30.
Well, Kathy
or-
actually put in here, and it's a consideration that there is a time whether or not you can meet the time commitment. We've had as many as 26 or 27 negotiating sessions,
Right.
lasting anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, and they generally are immediately after school. So,
Yeah,
But I
there's no
think
way I could do
That's a
that.
consideration.
I think the one thing that you guys have gotten good experience this year on other teams. Now,
Yeah, you know.
this is a little more intense because it is the biggest group we negotiate with, and it's the dollars are a lot more than all of the other groups because when you total up all the teachers, but still, the experience that you've picked up this year, you know, I have no again, that's going forward. It's going to be a time issue because it can be a real lot of time.
I'll do it, but I don't wanna, if you guys are interested, I
Right.
don't wanna exclude you.
I'm interested, but I just don't know that I could do it, and this is an intense thing. It needs a lot of effort. The other thing in the back of my head is the secondary school building project and the fact that, you know, that's gonna take a lot of time. Jerry, you're involved
Mhm.
heavily in that, and I wanna make sure everybody has a distributed load, cause there's a lot of work going on.
Well, I would recommend this. If anybody would be a step off, it would be me because Jerry has been through this, I think, 3 times now, and he really.
I think Jerry
Knows
should
the
be
ropes.
involved, but
I mean, I'd like to be involved. But
I'll do it. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
it
if someone else
becomes too
wants to
much, we
replace
can,
me,
you know,
I'm.
but yeah, if Mel's interested, I'm interested.
I just can't make the schedule. It's tough.
Most people can, Mike. I mean,
Right.
it's usually at 3
They
to
wanna meet
3
at 6 or 7 that night.
Yeah, it's usually
Be happy
3
to-
at 3:00, 2:30, and it goes 4 or 5 hours, and
I have the work flexibility. I
I don't.
wanna be sure that I understand the requirements and that, you know, you think I'm capable of doing it is another question. I mean,
I
it's
think
a
you're
lot.
I think you're
Yeah.
capable of doing it. I mean, I think there is a certain, I don't know, makeup
Mel
that
should
you
be there
have to
also.
assume when you get in there.
well, you can only have 2.
Yeah, you can only have 2.
Can't have 3.
But we could certainly, if Karen wanted to, we could certainly
As
keep
an
her
observer?
appraised, so that if,
Well,
yeah.
why don't we say this? Why don't Jerry
Keep
and
them an
Mel
alternate.
be the official appointed people
Yep.
to do the negotiations? You guys have done it well in the past. I'd like to be more actively updated and involved because I
Yeah,
think that it's
we could do
important
Yeah, I think that's a good
for
idea. Yeah.
someone new on the
I think so.
committee to
I d-
understand the process
Perhaps-
better. Because if
I think
you
it's a good
guys,
idea.
you know,
Perhaps
retire
an
from the
alternate?
school board, I would
Right,
like to
have an
be able
alternate
to
too.
do what you do.
Perhaps
You could have an alternate in case one of us can't make it.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
don't know if we
I
can
would
do
think
that.
we could.
Yeah, you can do it. I mean, as long as there's only 2 members
Right.
present at the
Present,
meeting, certainly
yeah.
we can do it. You wanna do that?
Then you
Yeah,
can,
we can make Karen
You
an
interested in
alternate.
being the alternate?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'd be happy to do that.
Let's do that. Let's have a motion. Let's do this. Let's have a motion first for the 2 appointments.
Can we do them at the
Okay.
same time?
No, we'll do the alternate, because, can we
I'm
get
gonna
3?
recluse myself.
No,
Yeah,
I mean
be-
you
the
two. Do
whole
I have to
thing.
do you separately?
No, you can do those both at the same
Okay.
time. I don't think there's.
So
gonna be
I'll
any-
make a motion to nominate Mel Webster and Jerry Venezia to the negotiation subcommittee for the NREA
All right, we need a second.
contract.
Need a second.
Cliff
Mike
can't
has-
vote, I don't think.
has to.
Mike,
Mike has a second.
Okay, we have a motion by Karen, a second by Mike to appoint Mel and myself as the members of the NRE, the negotiating team with the NREA on the new contract. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abs-
None?
Abstain.
1 abstention. The motion carries by 4 in favor,
One
1 abstention, and none opposed. Although I think you could vote on this, but.
I
that's
might
might
okay.
be
it's-
able to,
Yeah,
but
we don't
it's
need to.
easier to just
Okay.
be away.
Now I'm
I'll
gonna
make
ask
a
for
motion to appoint Karen Ericetti as, Mrs. Karen Ericetti as an alternate to the negotiating team with the NREA in the event that Mr. Venezia or Mr. Webster cannot attend meetings.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion by Mel, a second by Mike to appoint Karen as an alternate to the teacher contract negotiations. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none?
Abstain.
Okay, we have a vote of 4 in favor, none against, and 1 abstention. Okay, good.
Thank you.
That'll work. Bills and payroll, I think we've got 3 signatures on everything?
Done.
Minutes, we do have open session, September 12th, 2011, open session minutes.
Look good to me.
Look good to me. I move that we approve the regular session minutes of September 12th.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Cliff, a second by Mel. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? 1 abstention?
Abstention.
Okay, so it's 4 in favor, none opposed, and Karen abstains. Okay. It doesn't look like we have any further budget updates. And no staffing changes, no bids and donations. Subcommittee reports, we do have scheduled on October 12th, the policy subcommittee meeting at 5 PM. The evaluation subcommittee is gonna meet on October 13th, and the athletic subcommittee is scheduled next on October 18th. We did have an athletic subcommittee meeting on September 20th, and I'll just give a brief report on that. We got a presentation from the athletic director regarding intramural participation at both the high school and the middle school level. The middle school seems like a fairly good participation. There's 185 boys, 59 girls participating, so that's not bad. The biggest sports there are really the floor hockey and the basketball, with a good turnout for the middle school cross-country intramurals as
Right.
well. Big turnout for that for the skiing, cross-country skiing. The high school is a very limited intramural program. I think there was only 28 students, and they were all participating for the most part. 28 boys who participated in floor hockey, and there's also an intramural, I guess, yoga program where there were 20 participants as well. The intramural program is solvent. The fees basically just about cover the salaries, so it comes out with a little bit of a plus, but not a lot. And that was presented by Frank Carey, the intramural director.
Considered intramural.
We also discussed, and this is gonna be an ongoing topic, but we talked about the user fees. And in the fall sports program, there were 19 students who were eligible for a waiver of the athletic user fee. We tried to extrapolate this out over the entire year and what it would mean in revenues, and it's about $24,000 or $25,000 that we would not have from user fees. Participation, by the way, according to Mr. Johnson, was there were 286 fall athletes, which I think is pretty close.
About
I
the
think it was
same
around
as last
300
year,
last year, but very close. We did eliminate one team. There's only 2 volleyball teams, a varsity and junior varsity. In the last several years, we've had a varsity and a JV1 and a JV2 team. So again, this is something we're gonna have to take a look at. Dave went out and he basically got a KPN League athletic user fee with the waiver policy. And some of them give scholarships. Our athletic boosters used to provide scholarships, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 a year, to kids who could not afford the user fee. I don't think they have the fiscal ability to do that any longer. But a lot of I shouldn't say a lot, a number of the other districts in the KPN League do give a 100% fee waiver if a student qualifies for free or reduced lunch. And that's what we do right now.
Sure,
So-
we had about a $20,000 loss this year in
That's
the
right.
athletic budget as a result of reduced fees. And I think, given the economic times, this is one of the things when we look at the budget, we ought to be looking at adding $20,000 more, or $25,000 more from the budget
We're
that
gonna
we
have to.
provide.
We're gonna have to. Right now, the way the athletic budget works is there's an appropriation as part of our budget for the high school athletic program. It's about 50% of the overall cost. The other 50% is funded through user fees and gate receipts from athletic events. And that 50-50 stayed pretty even over the last, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. So obviously now we're coming up a little short because we're not getting all of the user fees we were getting before, and we are gonna have to make an adjustment in the budget. And I'll say this too, the percentage of the athletic budget as a percentage of the overall budget has stayed pretty constant as well. I think it's less than 1% of the
Yeah.
budget, so. And we have more participation than we've ever had. I mean,
What
over
is
the
the-
last 10 years, we've added a lot of teams, so that we have, some seasons, 300 or more kids participating out of a total enrollment of 740 kids, no, 710 kids. And on any given season, we have close to 300, that per season, so it's a very good participation rate.
The athletic program is about, what, 1% of our budget?
It's a little
Yeah,
bit
little
less than
less.
1% about our appropriation.
total.
Right.
Our
The total.
appropriation's a little less
Right.
than 1% of the total
The
budget.
total athletic budget.
The total athletic budget is probably 1.5% if you take the fees.
No, I think, yeah, right, I think the appropriation part is
Between
less than
1.5 and
1%.
2% of the total
Right.
budget, including the fees.
Right, but that includes the fees.
May I suggest that we try to increase viewership at these events and maybe send out a blast on a weekly basis of all the sporting events that are coming up?
Yeah, I'm not sure what we put
Some
out
of the
right now.
schools-
Obviously, the transcript and I
Paper,
think
it's
the
on the
patch run
patch,
schedules every
yeah.
single week. The transcript actually prints a weekly schedule of all the events.
No, I understand that, it's just like if
Yeah.
Get an email blast on a
Yeah.
Friday morning and
Yeah,
it's a
anything we
Friday
could do.
night game or a
Give a
Saturday
reward
night
or-
basketball game.
I mean, to be
It
honest with you,
registers.
the only sports we're charging for now in the fall, I think,